Welcome back, folks. We have the Dow Industrials trading up 184. NASDAQ is down 1. S&Ps are up 15. Let's go over to Mr. Teddy Kekstadt, as we do each and every Wednesday at 40 past the hour. You can reach Teddy, folks, every trading day at forex-trading-unlock.com. That's forex-trading-unlock.com. Teddy Kekstadt, Merry Christmas, man.
Merry Christmas to both of you guys and your families.
Thank you, and you also, man. And we're going to make it a great new year. So.
Yep.
So
remember what we talked about last week when I said I think the pound is what's driving the currency markets?
Yes.
Well, it's proven itself every day since then, especially today. The dollar kind of had a bounce over the past couple days since we spoke, but there was a sell signal on Friday in the pound. And it was interesting how when it opened up on Sunday, it gapped much lower. So the dollar wasn't strong versus many currencies, but the British pound just got shellacked when it started the week off, okay?
Yeah.
And it made a big low. I mean, I had a target. It hit my first target and my second target all by the time the middle of our trading day started through the end of the trading day. There was a huge amount of volatility in the pound, but not so much in the other currencies. And you can even see that today, where right now the dollar's under pressure, but not that much by the other currencies.
Right.
They're kind of basically setting a wide range trade. But the pound, if you look at the pound versus the euro, the pound versus the yen, the pound versus the Swiss, the Canada, et cetera, it's slamming all of them today. Okay, so once again, I think what's happening is because of the Brexit. No matter what Brexit is happening, we'll be talking post-Brexit in a week and a half.
Yeah.
So, but I think what you have is because of that, there's a little bit of repatriating of probably of pounds to begin with by businesses in the UK. Okay, that's one thing. Then you also have the fact that you have them in a very severe lockdown also, too, with the new coronavirus strain and what have you,
Right.
So I think that, with the way Europe is reacting to what's going on, we know that the second wave now is definitely extending lockdowns through the holidays. That's for sure. I mean, there's no doubt about that. Okay. And I think that until the first of the year, you're going to see a lot of strength in the pound yet, So I think that's really going to be the guide. Now, we're coming into holiday markets, so we could go sideways for the next week, So the big thing I think you have to watch is if the pound can continue to rally and get above, 135.41, making new highs. If it does that, then you're probably going to see that trend go all the way into the first of the year. And that's going to continue to drop the dollar. Because see, here's the thing is, as the pound is rallying versus the Swiss, the euro, and all these other currencies, that means that they're weak versus the pound. And if they're strong versus the dollar, that means that you see what I'm saying? That's why the dollar loses ground to those other currencies as the pound rallies against these other currencies.
No, I can see that. I mean, this is on the verge of a major breakout to get up to 144, right? I mean, this goes back to June of 2018, man. If it makes it over this level, man, yeah.
Right. Now, here's the thing, though, is you got to be careful because we're pushing these highs. And I'm not calling for an exacerbated bull market, but it has the potential, if it continues to pressure these highs, it has the potential to explode. With this kind of volatility, when you see the pound, how it opened up on Sunday, had that big of a slide in 2 days with all the other currencies doing nothing, that means that the pound is in play. No one can tell me anything that the pound is not in play. It has to be right now. And that's where the volume is, So you have to look at where your volumes are. If you have a ton of volume, and the pound, remember, is the second biggest weight in the dollar index. So just like when the dollar moves, if there's a play on the dollar, it affects all the currencies. Well, the pound, if there's a play in the pound, which there is, it impacts most of the global currencies as well. So, and I think that we're going to continue to see that right now, especially because with the bonds breaking, you look at how the sell-off in the 30-year is today. There's no reason to buy dollars right now. Especially if the Swiss is under pressure versus the pound as well. So the Swiss has been under pressure versus the dollar since Friday. It's come back a little bit today. So you're looking at probably a profit-taking break in the dollar right now versus the other currencies right now, not the pound, okay? So, and I think that's setting us up for a holiday chop fest, too. I'd be very careful.
I can see that.
So I'd be very, very careful because you could see the bond snap. Tomorrow's Christmas Eve, and you know what happens on holiday markets. very thin volume. The algos are going to be swinging around, so I don't think it's going to be anybody's a genius because they're long or short at a particular moment over the next couple of days. So
no,
you have to
I can
use
see
a lot
that.
of caution.
And, you know, Teddy, when we see the type of volatility that you have inside the pound, is that saying also that more people actually trade in the currencies, or do you think it's just the algos?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it is. Okay, right.
Yes, because the pound, remember, the UK is one of the biggest currency spots in the world.
That's right.
So London's a currency center. So if the pound's in play, you know that all those traders in England, in the UK right now, they're not taking off for Christmas. But where are they going anyhow?
No,
they can't go anywhere.
Right.
So they're trading, and especially they're trading Brexit.
Yeah, for sure. Well, you know, it's so interesting what you say there. Years ago, folks, and I'm going way back, man. I'm going back to like almost 94. Yeah, I'm going back to 94. And when you met people from the UK, they didn't even trade stocks, man. They were looking at you like, what are you trading stocks for, man? Trade currencies. Because they were so used to having so many different currencies, right? That before the euro, I mean, they were very used to, well, we had, every country had a different currency. So they were very used to that, right? Yeah.
Sure.
I was so intrigued with that because I said, oh, but it totally makes sense. I mean, because they understood them a lot more than I did. That's for sure. Most Americans, I would say. Yeah.
Absolutely. Well, remember the old currency desk, too. That wasn't computerized. That was all a bunch of guys on headphones in multiple cities, you know, where they had literally trading desks going on all around the world.
Right.
You know, that was a totally different world, and it didn't open up to the rest of us until, you know, the futures, the currency futures from the CME brought it to America first, you know, and then the opening up of the Forex cash market in the 90s brought it to where it really was open to everybody, you know. So, but before that, it was controlled. If you didn't have the operation, you weren't playing that market at all.
Well, you know what's wild is that Tommy and I, we had a radio station up in Nashville, New Hampshire, and when it first opened up in the United States, folks, we would have these guys from the UK calling us saying, hey, I want to do a currency show. And I actually thought it was illegal. I said, hold it, you just can't do that. And they said, yes, you can. No, and it was legal, but we didn't let them do it because I said, that can't be that easy. You can't just go in and say, but it was a different deal. It wasn't like our regulated markets, right? Yeah, the Tiger 1590.
It was the wild, wild west.
It was the wild.
Absolutely.
I'm glad we didn't let them do it because that's when the leverage was 200 to 1.
Oh, God.
Do you remember? That's what it was, man.
Sure. It made futures look like the stock trading game.
It's it.
Literally. Yeah, absolutely. Because of the leverage.
I'm telling you. What a trip.
But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting year that we're setting up for, you know, especially right now. You know, I mean, I'd be careful with the holiday swings. You know, we have a half-day market tomorrow, and then we have next week, you know, it's the same thing as this week, a 4-day, you know, trade. So, but after next week, you know, we'll see how things unwind and what have you. I mean, right now the dollar is a bear, you know, and there's no reason to think that the dollar is going to, any rally in the dollar is going to be willing to sell, I think, for a while.
Well, listen, man, you have a great one, safe one. And, of course, let's see. Yeah, we're going to still talk to you next week. Kick off the new year.
Absolutely.
Okay, man.
Merry Christmas, guys.
Merry Christmas. Have a great one.
Thanks, Teddy. Merry Christmas. You too.
Stay right there, folks. Tommy and I are coming right back. We have the Dow Industrials up 189. Nasdaq's down 3. S&Ps are up 15.5. We'll come right back.